If you want to get better at Call of Duty multiplayer, or any game's multiplayer really, you have to first acknowledge that it's a mental game. That, you know, you're not using your body. I mean, that should be fairly easy, right? You're not using your body. It's about pitting your mind against other minds. Now, because it's called a game, and because for so long video games in general were sort of inaccurately dismissed as leisure activities that had a negative effect on the brain, when in fact the opposite has been proven true, many people fail to put together that intelligence is what we call skill in this game. It's about your ability to think critically. Now, everyone agrees chess is a smart game, right? A game that requires logical analysis and strategy. When you see movies, they often use chess as a symbolic form of genius. The genius is always really good at chess. A good example is Sherlock Holmes. In X-Men, you would see Magneto and Professor X playing games of chess on occasion. A beautiful mind. Back in The Sims, if you wanted logic skill points, you played chess. Chess is just asking questions. Why did my opponent just move there? What is my opponent going to do next? What is he going to do 10 moves from now? Why is that piece there? How can I convince him to move that piece here? And the victor in chess is decided by who can ask the correct questions and who can provide themselves with the best answers for their own questions. Call of Duty is harder than chess. It's much harder. It requires more brain power, and it requires you to exercise that power much more quickly. Like I've said before, Call of Duty is problem solving, which means you're just asking questions. A lot of questions, and you're asking them very quickly. In real life, if you're on a road and there's an obstacle in your way, you ask questions subconsciously without even really knowing what you're asking. But this is what critical thinking is. First you ask, what is this obstacle? Why might it be here? Then you ask, how can I get around it? You ask if you can go over, under, or through it. Can the obstacle be moved? Do you have to destroy the obstacle? How do you destroy the obstacle? With force? With your fists? With explosives? Where are you going to get the explosives? Can you strike fear into it? Can you destroy it without touching it? Force it to move on its own and out of your way so that you might pass on and move on with your own day? That's critical thinking, and ultimately that is what Call of Duty becomes. The match has just started. You're moving towards the B flag. Now, even a bad player will ask, what kind of opposition am I expecting at the B flag? Said player will examine the data, that is their memory of every previous game they've ever played. It will calculate that maybe on average 2 to 3 people from the enemy team will also approach the B flag. The player then asks, where can I hide from these enemies? Can I hide behind the truck? But what if they simply blow up the truck? Perhaps I ought to keep my distance. What if they show up in that goddamned window, though? I'm screwed then, aren't I? Then said player asks himself, what if I simply didn't capture the B flag and left, and then I could live and be free? Now, a good player asks and answers the right question before even getting into the game. And that's what setting up your classes is all about. I will cap the B flag. This trophy system will protect me from my enemies' thrown objects. My smoke grenade will cloak me from the son of a bitch sniper in that window. And so when the match starts, that player doesn't even have to think, he simply reacts. He is a machine. And for those first 30 seconds, the trophy system and the smoke grenade cloak his position behind the truck. Everything is in place, and so as he caps, he recites to himself, this is my B flag, there are many like it, but this one is mine. Now, when you kill someone, when you put holes through their body and you watch them die, there are 2 reactions. The bad player will say, "Oorah, this is my kill, there are many like it, but that one was mine, I love this shit." But a smart player will immediately begin to ask questions. Is that guy mad? Did I kill him in a way that might convince him to come back looking for me? Did one of his teammates notice his skull floating over his dead body? Did they see the red dot on their minimap when I fired my gun? Do they know where I am? Do they know what I am capable of? Do I know what they are capable of? Do they know I know that there is a UAV in the air, that I see their red dots moving pathetically in my direction? Do they know that if they cross my path, I will gut them? I will gut them as a fisherman guts its fish? Can they have ghost? How many red dots are on the map? Only 4. There must be 2 ghost users then, correct? Are they around this corner? I can hear their footsteps. Are those my own footsteps? What is happening? Dear God, strike me down now. Save me from this insanity that is Call of Duty. I will bear no more. This commentary kind of got away from me. But the point I was ultimately trying to make was that your abilities in Call of Duty will be directly affected by the state of your mind. The better shape your mind is in, the more quickly it will ask questions, the more quickly it will answer those questions. So, If your goal is to do as well as possible in a match of Call of Duty, try to prepare for it the same way you would prepare for like a math final at school. You want your mind to be healthy and opened up. Eat breakfast, get a good night's sleep. Both food and sleep are infinitely valuable to your brain. Now opening it up will help a lot too, as well in terms of helping you concentrate and performing fluidly. Reading something helps a lot, and I know that sounds kind of silly. You don't have to read like a whole novel or something. Read a couple news articles or, you know, your favorite sports magazine or something, but just the process of analyzing symbols and interpreting their meaning based on memory will sort of turn your brain on. There's these processes that need to be activated, like flipping the switch on a machine belt. Exercise also plays a meaningful role. And again, I don't mean like a marathon, but if you go on like a short walk, the endorphins get released into your blood, and your blood gets flowing, and studies show that your mind operates faster and more productively directly after exercise. So, to understand Call of Duty, to master Call of Duty, do these things. This is Batman, signing out.